Yo, what's good YouTube? This is Chris coming at you with another video again. So I wanted to go over something that was very interesting that I saw on my Twitter page today. If you guys haven't seen, I put up a tweet where I said if I had to pick one Sonic game to get rid of out of Sonic Colors, Sonic Unleashed, SA1 or SA2, I chose Sonic Colors. Now, I'm sure you guys may or may not have been keeping up with it, but I've been getting ratioed left and right by Colors fans, which shows that this game has a very devout fan base. Honestly though, Colors fans are being such babies. If you read any of my responses, I clearly said all four games are very good. I just wanted to make it a difficult choice to drive a discussion, which we did over 150,000 impressions and counting, so I think it worked. I've seen all the games that were picked. You know, some people chose SA1, some people SA2, Unleash. It kind of was all over the place, but no one got more hurt and upset than Colors fans. I guess I have to admire that because passion is what drives the fan base. But anyways, let's give you Colors fans what you guys want to hear today. Let's talk about something Iizuka said in an interview about a month ago that brings up a very interesting debate and that I want to play out. We're going to discuss what the quintessential Sonic game is. I don't know if you guys remember, but I covered this in a video about 3 weeks ago. There was an interview with Iizuka, and he says this is a remastered version of the Wii title Sonic Colors that was released in 2010. In recent years, partly due to the success of the Hollywood movie, the brand is expanding at an accelerating pace, and is rapidly spreading to families everywhere. Therefore, I wanted to deliver them the quintessential Sonic game, so I chose Sonic Colors, which is highly evaluated by fans and cannot be played with the current hardware. So at first, if you guys remember, I kind of thought this was a cause for concern, not because I don't like the game, but I feel like the series needed to step away from the meta-era style tone. He talks about how the IP brought in a lot of new fans after the Sonic movie, which was a domestic box office success, bringing in well over $300 million. It was so successful, it brought back new and old fans alike, which also explains why they have the green light to do a higher budget sequel, which is all but guaranteed to be a smashing success. Anyways, I'm someone who grew up with the adventure style game, so maybe I have a little bit of bias, but I think it makes complete sense why they're choosing Sonic Colors Ultimate as the game to remaster, and I think it's going to help bring new fans to the series, and it makes complete sense. The other game when I think about the quintessential Sonic game, however, would be Sonic Adventure 2, and let me explain why. It is an instantly recognizable, iconic game. It brought refinements to the prior installment that some people were demanding. It brought more polished gameplay and graphics, a more cinematic styled story, the same physics-based gameplay with some additional moves, a revamped Chao Garden, and they streamlined the game by getting rid of the hub worlds. And they also told the story through cutscenes only. While I won't be doing a comprehensive review of this game, I will be talking about why this game sticks out as a quintessential game. And if you ask almost any normie who isn't a fan of Sonic, they would recognize this game. You know, they'll be like, oh yeah, it's Sonic Adventure Battle, or Sonic Battle, or Sonic Battle DX, or you know, the game with the Chow Pets. So how does this game stack up to Colors overall? Well, you tell me. Metacritic gave this game a score of 89. Colors got a score of a 78. My personal preference is SA2 over Sonic Colors, but according to Twitter, this might not be true. There has been extremely fierce defenders of Sonic Colors in my Twitter comments, and let me be clear, I actually love Sonic Colors. I think it's a great game. So you Color fans are about to be in for a nice little treat, because I'm actually going to explain to you guys why I agree with Iizuka, and I'm going to explain why Sonic Colors actually is the quintessential Sonic game, at least for this moment in time in the franchise. Sonic Colors follows the Dark Age era of Sonic, you know, Sonic 06, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic and the Secret Ring, Sonic and the Black Knight, just a bunch of games that did not perform well critically. Sonic 06 nearly killed the iconic character of Sonic as we know it, and it is very tough for them to bounce back. Even Sonic Unleashed got bad reception at the time of its release, and I actually think it was an amazing game. Sonic was on its last legs and needed to go into a totally different direction. They chose to totally revamp his character, storytelling, and gameplay direction. So how did they respond to the near end of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise? They dropped Sonic Colors. Sonic Colors obviously was dropped in 2010, and I gotta say, it was the perfect game to drop at the time. The game sold a respectable 2.1 million units, which is pretty solid considering it was exclusive to the Nintendo Wii. Expect the numbers to rise dramatically when the Colors Ultimate Remaster drops on September 7th. So they chose to take all the daytime stages from Unleashed, which were universally praised, and make an entire game out of that gameplay style. They still did have their own major gimmick, which was the alien wisps. The aliens would give Sonic a different power-up and give him a new way to traverse through the level and even find hidden paths. Another major shift was the Saturday morning cartoon vibe that the games gave off. The gameplay from this game is somewhat similar to that of the games that preceded it. Sonic needs to get to the end of the level as fast as possible. You need to do tricks, collect rings, and obtain the highest score possible if that's what you're into. The game relies on a heavy mix of 3D and 2D platforming, which is very different from the games in the past. There was 2D style classic games, and there was also 3D games like Heroes, Adventures, and others. While Sonic Unleashed did have some 2D sections, this game really takes advantage of 2D platforming to challenge the player in new ways, and it does so way more often. The boost comes back in a very strong way for this game. It allows you to have a lot less slippery controls in Sonic Unleashed and really refines one of the best aspects of that game. The boost is always fun and satisfying to use and really gives you a thrilling sense of speed. Overall, this game finally allows us to play as Sonic and only Sonic, and it really minimizes the gimmicks like a sword or a werehog. The game was clearly intended for a younger crowd, however, as demonstrated by the childish humor and lack of seriousness in the plot. Sonic is no longer fighting interdimensional, metaphysical, godlike creatures that threaten to destroy all of life itself, and chose to go with Dr. Eggman as the game's charming and humorous villain. I can't fault them for this because at the time the series desperately needed a winning title, and this one delivered. It was the highest ranked Sonic game by IGN and Metacritic since the other game I want to talk about, which is Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic Adventure 2 is probably the most notable Sonic game amongst people throughout the 30-year history of it. This game got an 89 from Metacritic, and it also got a 9.4 out of 10 from IGN, who are notorious Sonic haters. I'm a bit older, so I grew up with this game, which is why I might have some bias towards it, but almost everyone can remember playing this game on the GameCube at some point in time from back in the day. This game was a follow-up from Sonic Adventure 1, which was the first ever 3D Sonic game. SA2 built upon the infrastructure in which SA1 was built on, and streamlined the game to a more polished version, whether you like it more or not. Personally, I actually prefer SA1 to this game, but I still think it's amazing just like Colors is. The highlight of this game is the speed characters. In this mode, you play as Sonic or Shadow and try to get to the end of the level while taking advantage of the physics, momentum, and trying to get the highest score possible in the brand new ranking system that has been a staple in the series since. Everyone loved these takes on Sonic gameplay, and rightfully so. If not for Sonic Colors getting remastered, I would definitely want to go with SA2 or SA1 as one of the games that gets remastered. This is probably the most iconic game in the series for a myriad of reasons. It brings forth brand new iconic characters like Shadow and Rouge, has a cinematic, deep story, a supersonic boss fight at the end, amazing speed character gameplay, and honestly, the Chow Garden. Anyone who was a gamer around the early 2000s knows what this game is. Just think of the iconic songs like City Escape and Running Away from the Big Truck, snowboarding down the city streets. This game triggers a lot of nostalgia for older Sonic fans and even casuals alike. The sales and reviews seem to back up my claims as well. Across all platforms, it sold 3.5 million units overall, which is a very strong selling game. The aesthetic of this game, the recognizability, the critical performance, gameplay, and story of the game makes this game a very strong candidate to be the quintessential Sonic game. So with that being said, which game truly is the quintessential Sonic game? Well, after thinking long and hard about this one, I think it actually makes sense that Iizuka claims that Sonic Colors is the quintessential Sonic game. Sega is a business. They have a better level of understanding of analytics and demographics than myself or anyone in a Twitter thread or the comment section. My original thoughts were that his statements were kind of concerning, and this is because I personally wanted them to go into a different direction as far as the tone goes. However, from a business standpoint, it makes sense to stick to your guns as this being the quintessential game. Let me explain. This game was the best received game in a time where it was few and far between to find a well-received Sonic game. If this game never came out, we really may not be talking about this series at all because the franchise would have been killed off a long time ago. The framework this game was built on was a staple of the series going forward for the next 10 years. What this game brings to the table separates itself from SA2 from a business perspective. One of the best moves they made was allowing for one distinct gameplay style for this game, which was the Sonic boosting formula. This works really well because gimmicks like carrying a sword, a gun, or being a werehog, terrible motion controls, or maybe even team-based gameplay were really holding the series back at the time. Even think about SA2, where you were forced to do long treasure hunting stages or play as a mech, even if you didn't want to. This is one of the more valid criticisms of SA2 because, like it or not, people who don't want to play those game styles are being forced to do so, so it does not help. Having one consistent playstyle that is very fun is something that is important when considering what the quintessential Sonic game is. I mean, think about it. You can't divide your player base with gameplay styles they don't like when there's only one gameplay style to begin with. Another point I wanted to make was about the audience they want to bring in. If you are coming into the series from watching the Sonic movie, you want something a little more consistent with the tone of that. While I think Sonic has a very in-depth and compelling character arc in the movie, as opposed to Colors, I still think the kids who would pick up a Sonic game are going to be playing that game because they want to be Sonic. They want a fun, energetic, carefree character. Sonic Colors also provides a much more charming and vibrant atmosphere than SA2. Look at the first act in Tropical Resort or even Sweet Mountain. The backgrounds are straight up gorgeous and has a lot going on in them. This game just feels like it has a very special vibe to it. Bright lights and pretty colors are always something that are going to be an eye-catcher to newcomers to anything in life, not just video games. Sonic Colors gives a baseline understanding of how powerful Sonic is, what his skill set brings to the table, and how that can be built upon by looking further into his past. This game doesn't need to be super in-depth or crazy to reel in new casual fans into the series. All it needs to do is be a very solid game that establishes the gameplay and abilities of Sonic, and the consumer will do the rest when looking for more. I look at Heroes as an example. When I first got into the Sonic series, Sonic Heroes was my first game. After I played Sonic Heroes, which had a not really in-depth story, I ended up going back to SA2 and then in turn SA1. The domino effect of a charming game will lead you back to other titles in the series. Sonic Colors just has a unique, one-of-a-kind atmosphere to it. It is really pretty to look at and also a very attractive game for newcomers. This game also has a ton of spectacle as well. Sonic is a very action-packed character, so you want the game to be as flashy as possible and also show off as much as it can. This is something that Colors does very well with the boosting gameplay. While the story of Colors pales in comparison to Sonic Adventure 2, and I really don't like Colors' story, there is no denying that this is the perfect game to get a newcomer to go down the rabbit hole of Sonic. As I said before, if you can get into this story and then decide to pick up older titles after that, you will fall in love with the character that much more. Colors' story definitely lacks that epicness to it, but it more than makes up for its lackluster story with very solid gameplay that is easy for a newcomer to pick up. So yeah, for all the reasons I said, it makes sense for this game to be chosen for the remaster because it's such a safe bet. Sonic Colors was a very well received game and it was not re-released ever. It was only available on the Wii, so as you can imagine, there's a lot more potential units to be sold by bringing it to multiple platforms in a remaster. Now don't get me wrong, I love SA2 and I really do think it's better than Colors, but I just think overall Colors is a better game to bring in new players to the series. Sonic Colors is a very charming game with its lighthearted story, gorgeous environment, easy difficulty, and overall aesthetic. I think upon further review, Izuka was right when he claimed that this is the quintessential Sonic game for a newcomer. It doesn't try to reinvent the wheel with a super outlandish gimmick, it just gives you Sonic at his base moveset with a few twists and turns and allows for the player to get reeled into the series. Anyways, this is all just my opinion, so please do not spam me with hate in the comments because I don't care either way. I'm not really going to pay any mind to it. Make sure you get on my Twitter and social media in the description to keep up with me and all the other platforms. I love all you guys no matter what, so until next time y'all, I'll see you later.